Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are looking at question 9 of the preliminary exam, the chemistry exam, question 9. And if you look at the question, it says the diagram below shows an electrochemical cell, electrolytic cell used for the refining of copper in industry. So we've got electricity, we've got a cell, and then the cells are put into an electrode, into a electrolyte, and some chemical reaction takes place. State the energy conversion that takes place in the electrolytic cell. So here we've got electricity, and then the electricity causes some chemical reactions. So if we can say that, we can say question 9.1, we can say from electrical energy to chemical energy. That will be the answer for question 9.1. Now, question 9.2 says, what will be observed at the cathode? Now, here we know that the electrolytic cell is the opposite of the galvanic cell. At the cathode, here we know that here we've got, for example, the cathode here will be the positive electrode, because this is a copper electrode. The copper electrode is positive, and in the galvanic cell, we know that the positive electrode is the cathode. So here now, because it works the other way around, we can say that the negative electrode is the cathode. Reduction takes place at the cathode, right? So what will be observed at the cathode? We'll see that the copper 2+ ions in the solution become copper metal. It undergoes a reduction. So we see that the copper solution becomes copper metal. What will be observed? What will you see? You'll see that the electrode gets a copper deposit. So we can say that, we can say 9.2, a deposit of copper will be formed on the electrode. A deposit of copper will form on the electrode. Right? The copper ions become copper metal and it's attached to the cathode. Write down the half reaction that takes place at the anode. Now at the anode, what happens? We've got sulfate ions. So the sulfate ions cannot form an element, it cannot form a metal or bubbles or gas, whatever the case is. So basically no reaction will take place at the anode in this case. So 7.3 we can say no reaction occurs because the sulfate ion cannot form the complete reaction. 9.4, what will happen to the color of the blue copper sulfate solution as the reaction progresses? So we know that as the reaction progresses, the copper ions in solution, which gives the blue color, the copper 2+ ions in the solution, will decrease because the copper 2+ ions are going to be deposited onto the electrode to form copper metal. So the blue ions decrease. So if the blue ions decrease, the blue color will get less, or if in fact it can even disappear completely if that is the case. So basically what we can say in this case, we can say that the blue color, the solution becomes lighter. So 9.4 we can say the blue color will decrease, that is gets lighter. Okay, so that will be 9.4. The blue color decreases, gets lighter. Okay, is there more questions to that? 9.4, no. So that will be the conclusion of question 9. We spoke about the conversion of electrical energy to chemical energy. A deposit of copper will form on the cathode, and no reaction takes place at the anode, and the solution becomes lighter. With that, we'll conclude. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.